The Emmys have been celebrating achievements in television for 75 years. This year, they decided to celebrate that history by bringing the casts of beloved shows back together. The reunions came in every variety, from a hilarious skit honoring I Love Lucy to the more somber All in the Family reunion meant to honor Norman Lear. The Cheers reunion was a highlight. It brought the cast together in a recreation of the show's famous bar. But something was missing. Keep watching to learn why the Emmys Cheers cast reunion left fans with one huge question. Where were Woody Harrelson and Shelley Long? Cheers got another moment in the spotlight during the announcement of the winner for the award for Outstanding Directing for a Comedy Series. After an introduction by host Anthony Anderson, the cast reunited. Ted Danson, Rhea Perlman, Kelsey Grammer, John Ratzenberger, and George Wendt all came together on stage. It had been turned into a recreation of the sitcom's famous Boston Bar. Ted thanked Anthony for getting them all together and said it was nice to be there in front of everybody. Ratzenberger said it felt like a long overdue class reunion that brought back wonderful memories. There were a few alums who didn't make it. Kirstie Alley died in December of 2022 and was included in the Emmys In Memoriam tribute. But fans were left wondering, where were Woody Harrelson and Shelley Long? The show's executive producers, Jesse Collins and Jean Ruzanne Clay, stepped in to explain away the confusion. They said that Woody's absence was the result of a scheduling conflict. He was busy acting in a play called Ulster American in London. Shelley's absence was a bit more mysterious. Jesse had no comment about it. The producers knew they might have trouble getting everyone involved with all the reunions they planned. They expected logistical challenges to come up, but were glad they were able to have as many actors return as they did. Other cast reunions. American Horror Story Murder House. This horror hit was set to reunite its cast. Connie Britton was unable to return and present the award for lead actor in a limited series or movie to Stephen Yeun for Beef. She ended up pulling out at the last minute. Her representative said that travel issues left her unable to attend. She had to travel back to New York early to resume production of the TV miniseries Zero Day. She wanted to get ahead of a snowstorm forecasted to hit the East Coast. Dylan presented the award alone and found his own special way to recognize the series and its creator, Ryan Murphy. He was prepared to present the nominees for lead actor in a limited series or movie when a mysterious rubber man, a figure from the show, crept around in the background. When the rubber man unzipped his suit, it turned out to be Emmys host Anthony Anderson. Grey's Anatomy. Grey's Anatomy is the longest-running scripted primetime show on ABC. That's enough time for it to gather plenty of fans who were glad to see the cast return at the Emmys. Ellen Pompeo, Katherine Heigl, Justin Chambers, Chandra Wilson, and James Pickens Jr. returned. They went back to Grey Sloan Hospital to present the award for Best Supporting Actor in a limited or anthology series or movie to Paul Walter Hauser for his work in Blackbird. They talked about how long Grey's Anatomy had been going on. Not all of them have stayed on for every decade. Katherine left after season 6. Justin during season 16. Ellen was on the show from 2005 until February of 2023, though she remains an executive producer, narrator, and guest stars. The cast discussed why they think Grey's Anatomy has lasted 20 years, even with all the changes it has undergone in that time. Saturday Night Live. SNL has Grey's Anatomy's record beat by far in terms of length. It's been on NBC since 1975 and is one of the longest-running programs in TV history. Its iconic Weekend Update has been around for years. Tina Fey and Amy Poehler made history when they were the first two women to co-anchor it in 2004. They brought it back for the Emmys while presenting the award for Outstanding Live Variety Special to Elton John. Their classic humor was fully on display. Tina joked that both women had reached the stage in life where we'll only present awards sitting down. And Amy got in a few good-natured jabs at the nominees. Ally McBeal. Callista Flockhart reappeared at the Emmys as everyone's favorite TV lawyer of the late 90s and early 2000s. Her co-stars Greg Gurman, Peter McNichol, and Gil Bellows joined her. They got together to perform a skit and start a conga line. It was a great bit of fun before they presented an award. The Sopranos. Michael Imperioli and Lorraine Bracco returned to the Emmys to celebrate two important milestones. They presented the Supporting Actress in a Drama Series award to The White Lotus's Jennifer Coolidge. They also honored the recent 25th anniversary of one of HBO's most successful series. The set was modeled after the office where Tony Soprano had received therapy. Michael expressed he was honored to have been able to work with everyone involved. Lorraine added her appreciation for the cast and crew, including show creator David Chase. She also gave a tearful tribute to the show's lead, the late James Gandolfini. I Love Lucy. The Emmys even managed to honor shows with no living cast members. The classic 50s sitcom I Love Lucy is such an important part of TV history, they wanted to include it in the celebration. Natasha Lyonne, Anthony Anderson, and his TV wife, Tracy Ellis Ross, all joined together for a black and white recreation of its most famous scene. Candy came down the conveyor belt too quickly, and they had to eat it, just like Lucy and Ethel. They also presented an award, giving the trophy for Best Comedy Series to The Bear. Martin Lawrence, Tisha Campbell, Carl Anthony Payne II, and Tashina Arnold all reunited for the Emmys. Thomas Michael Ford was missing from the cast. He died at age 52 in 2016. The remaining cast members took jabs at the irony of reuniting at the Emmys even though Martin was never nominated for the award during its run from 1992 to 97. They also acknowledged it was a special moment and presented the award for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Comedy Series to The Bear's Jeremy Allen White. Game of Thrones. The Game of Thrones prequel, House of the Dragon, was a nominee for Best Drama Series. That made it only fitting that Peter Dinklage, who played Tyrion Lannister in the original series, would appear alongside the Iron Throne to present the award. Succession took the win, but it was still a fun callback. Remembering Norman Lear. There was a shadow over many of the Emmy reunions due to lost cast or crew members. Few were as heavily felt as prolific show creator Norman Lear. He died in December 2023 at age 101. This was before the ceremony's in memoriam segment. Rob Reiner and Sally Struthers played Gloria and Michael on one of his most successful shows, All in the Family. They came back to a set decked out like the Bunker family home. The goal was to honor Norman and what he'd done for the world of TV. Rob said he felt like Norman was part of his extended family. He honored the creator's ability to make shows that, quote, made us laugh, made us think, made us feel. Why there was no Friends reunion. Another death was so fresh, it prevented a much-beloved show from having a reunion at the Emmys. It was the loss of Matthew Perry at age 54 on October 8, 2023. Executive producer Jesse Collins said the idea was considered early on, but the staff decided against it. He knew the Friends cast was still, quote, mourning someone who was very close to them. He wanted to respect them and felt it was a bit too soon to bring to a major public event like the Emmys. Matthew was included in the in memoriam section of the event, though. The Friends cast has already spoken about how much the loss has affected them. They said they were more than castmates, but a family. They needed time to grieve and process it all, but sent their love to his family, friends, and the fans. Now it's time to hear from you. Did you watch the Emmys? Which of these reunions made you the happiest? Let us know in the comments section below.